Hello, chess fans! A lot of players don't know enough about opening principles, which often leaves them with worse middle game positions or even causes them to lose. If you struggle with that too, then you clicked on the right video. Here I will show you the 5 most important opening principles you need to know. Let's get right into it. Number 1. Control the center. The center is a very important part of the chessboard. When people talk about the center, they usually mean these 4 squares. They matter because controlling them gives your pieces more space to operate, which leads to more options for your middle game plans. This is also why the most common first moves focus on the center, such as e4, d4, and c4. Number 2. Develop your pieces. This principle connects directly to the first one. To control the center, we can not only use pawns. Your minor pieces need to get involved too. This is what an ideal opening setup can look like. All pieces are placed well and can be used on both sides of the board. But of course, we are not alone on the chessboard. Your opponent wants to win too, so a real position will look more like this. More balanced, with both sides controlling parts of the center. When developing, bring out the minor pieces, the knights and the bishops, out first, and only the heavy pieces, the queen and the rooks, later when needed. That is often in the middle game or even the end game. This also means you should avoid bringing out the queen too early. Those kinds of attacks are easy to defend, and then the opponent can use the fact that the queen is exposed to chase it around, which wastes a lot of time. Number 3. Be fast. Think of the opening like a race. The faster side normally controls the game and often gains an advantage. Being fast means avoiding unnecessary pawn moves that weaken your position and just lose time, and trying not to move the same pieces twice without a good reason. If possible, you can also develop while gaining tempo, which means making a move that forces your opponent to react and wins you time. For example, in this position, Black decided to go for an early queen attack, but now you can play knight f3. Now you develop one of your pieces and simultaneously attack the black queen, which now has to move. Now you gained a tempo and can move again. And as you can see, white is way faster in development. Number 4. King safety. You have probably heard this principle before. Bringing your king to safety normally means castling, but first you need to decide which side to castle on. A good rule of thumb is to choose the side where your pawn structure is still strong and there are not many enemy pieces nearby. Once your king is castled safely, make sure it stays that way. One important thing to avoid is to not push the pawns in front of it unless it's an extreme emergency. In this position, Black probably shouldn't castle kingside, because his pawns are already advanced, leaving the space behind vulnerable. White, on the other hand, can probably castle both sides. But as said, Black's kingside pawns are already advanced, meaning that he can maybe start an attack on this side. So in this position, I would choose queenside castling. Number 5. Avoid fast traps. I know it might seem tempting when an opening promises you a quick win in 8 moves, but those traps are usually well known. Therefore, your opponents can defend against them and often leave you with a worse middle game position. Such traps also don't do anything for your overall chess improvement. They might win you a couple of elo points, but that's about it. When you are looking to improve long term, don't go for any dubious opening lines. Instead, pick those that are well established. That doesn't mean there aren't any good gambits though. The King's Gambit and the Danish Gambit, for example, are both playable and they promise you sharp positions to keep your opponents on their toes. This is it! Now you know the most important opening principles, and hopefully can apply them in your own games. A good way to remember them is to write a few notes down and then read through them right before you play the next game. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time!